is Ghana, and this is a cocoa pod. This is a video all about how they're grown and picked, and the beans inside of them are used to make something that we all love, but also take for granted: chocolate. We're going to see how the farmers in Ghana have organised themselves to compete against the big hitters in the global chocolate industry. It's the story of Fairtrade, doing business in a way that respects small-scale farmers in the developing world. It's about paying them a guaranteed fair price, plus a little bit extra to help their communities and to give them a little bit of a safety net, plus a better way of life. We're going to find out how these get turned into this, and along the way discover that things aren't as simple as they could be. The ripe pods are cut down using long-handled knives. They are then broken open with a machete and the wet beans removed by hand. They are taken out and wrapped in banana or plantain leaves. They are left to ferment for 6 days. When they're fermented, the beans are taken back to the village and dried on bamboo mats for about a week. As they are drying in the sun and wind, the beans are turned once or twice a day and damaged beans taken out. No problem. It all looks very easy until you try it. Kwapa Cocoa is a cooperative run by farmers for farmers. It buys beans from its members at a guaranteed price and then pays them cash. But it's a lot more than fair pay, because it's a democratic cooperative. The extra money earned from fair trade is fed back into projects that help the whole community. They also have their own bank, a credit union where they can get low interest loans when times are tough. Now Daniel is another Kwapa cocoa farmer, and they say his cocoa is the best of the best. Now Daniel, how you doing, man?
Oh, it's no good.
It's good, man. Now how do you keep your cocoa being the best of the best?
Oh, because of education given by Kwapa. So our cocoa beans is very fine.
Why is it good to sell cocoa to Kwapa? What benefits do you get?
They trade very fair trade to we the farmers here.
So they're a very fair company.
Very fair company.
So what was life like before Kwapa?
He faced so many problems, even their weighing scales. The previous companies, they cheated us so many ways. So
are there any other things that Kwapa has done to help your family and your village community?
Oh yes, the water here, it was only one water pipe, and it is not sufficient for the community. About 3-4 months ago, they brought some men and dug a very nice underwear for the community.
Have you ever had a bad harvest at all? Have you ever had a year where you haven't had a good harvest with your cocoa plants?
Okay, last 3 years and we crossed some black seed pods, but the company Kwapa Society organized us, so we applied for a loan through Kwapa Credit Union.
Okay.
This helped us to buy that fungicide medicines to share for the farmers. So it helped us to prevent that black pod disease.
Transporting, shipping, manufacturing, advertising, financing. There are a lot of middlemen between the farmers we met in Ghana and the chocolate muncher here in Europe, and they're all trying to make as much cash as possible from this humble little cocoa bean. So, Sophie Tranchell, you're the managing director of the Day Chocolate Company, and there's a lot of money to be made in chocolate. So what makes your company different?
The special thing about the Day Chocolate Company is that the cocoa farmers in Ghana, who are organised in a cooperative, own a third of the company.
So let's go and have a look at some of these Fairtrade chocolate. Sophie, now why don't the big chocolate producers buy Fairtrade?
The big chocolate companies are having to account for shareholder value, and one of the effective ways of doing that is to make sure that they pay the lowest possible prices.
Now, what does a double bar cost, and how much does the farmer make from this?
It's a bit of a difficult question because a double bar only costs 39p when you buy it.
Yeah.
And obviously there's lots of things that go into a chocolate bar, so it's not like when you buy a banana where the banana's just gone on a ship and then you're buying it, and so you'd expect the farmer to get quite a lot. It's actually got sugar in it, and it's got milk in it, and it's been processed by lots of people and packaged and designed. And so that really it's probably better to look at it about what we pay for the cocoa beans.
Okay.
So that what we do is we guarantee a set price for a tonne of cocoa beans. We pay $1,600 a tonne, and we also pay $150 a tonne as a social premium, which the farmers can then invest in community projects like sinking water wells and paying for education and doing medical clinics.
So this is your room.
That's it.
I can smell the chocolate.
It's great.
It does, it does. Now we're talking about the big companies. They give money to aid projects. Is that good enough, do you think?
Well, any contribution is useful, and obviously the farmers need what they can get. But the important thing about Fairtrade is that they can predict that they're going to get that income, and it doesn't create a culture of dependency. So they can't predict when they're going to get this aid donated to them, and they can't make a decision about what it's spent on because it's usually tied to a particular project, whereas Fairtrade enables them to earn their way out of poverty. I think the other thing that's also interesting is what amount of money are they donating to farmers, and how does that compare with the amounts of profits that they're making out of selling chocolate?
Now there's a lot of cocoa being produced and the price of cocoa is low, so why don't the farmers just stop producing cocoa to drive the prices up?
Well, it's an interesting idea, but I think the challenge of doing that is that all of the farmers are needing to cooperate. And you've seen in Ghana that Crop Cocoa are cooperating, but it's quite a challenging environment to do it in because they don't have, landline telephones, and they're in very difficult terrain. Well, for all the farmers in the world to be cooperating, that's farmers in Indonesia and farmers in Brazil and farmers in Ivory Coast, and they don't have good communication systems, and then they'd need to come to a fairly sophisticated trade agreement, and then they'd need to all stick to it. So it's actually a big challenge.
Sophie, this is a difficult job. Why do you do it?
Well, it's a fantastic job, isn't it? The opportunity to work with cocoa farmers in Ghana, who are organised in such an amazing organisation, which to cooperate when there's 45,000 of them in 1,000 villages is no mean feat. And then I also get the chance to develop fantastic products like Divine and Double Chocolate, which taste great, and to taste products as I work every day. And I also get the chance to engage with the British public and actually offer chocolate lovers in Britain a real choice where they can buy great products, but they know that the farmers get the benefit.
Excellent.
What an irresistible combination.
Now this pump is a perfect example of what Kwapakuku and Fairtrade is all about. Fairtrade gives the farmers extra cash. They call this a social premium, which not only means the farmers get a better deal, but the whole community gets to buy things they really need. Clean drinking water when they need it, being able to go to school, Mary buying more food for her family, and people being able to go to the doctors when they're sick. There are farmers not part of cooperatives like Kwapa Cocoa that have no schools, no water wells for miles. This is the reality of the hard-working life of a cocoa farmer here in West Africa. And when you compare their lives and all of this with all of this, then it's time to stop and think.